Hello everyone, this is Yukai Chow and I am here to help you to become powerful and successful in your life and your field and everything you care about. Today I want to talk about how to be crappy but good enough, or having the right mentality towards that. I remember last year we built a product and it was fdcareer.com. So the concept is pretty much converting your life or your career development into a RPG game where instead of choosing to be a magician or barbarian, you choose your real career path and we guide you through that. It's going pretty well until the economy crashed. That's another story by itself. But I want to focus on the times where we would build something, we would design it, we would launch it, and we were like, wow, this is so good, it looks so great. And then we would tell every single one of our friends, hey, check this out, check that, this is the coolest thing ever. And then a month later, we look at it, it's like, wow, this is so hideous. What were we thinking? This sucks. And we were embarrassed to show people that. And then we did a redesign of it, and then we're like, wow, this looks so much better than the last one. This one is so professional, so good. And then we would tell everyone about it again. And then after a few months, we look at it again, and it's like, wow, what were we thinking? This sucks. Why would we show anyone this? So we're like, let's go for the next version. The next version is so much better, and don't tell anyone about this anymore. And then we did that for a few times, and then finally we got to a stage where we liked it, and we did it again. And now I look back to our final form, and it was still pretty bad. It wasn't professional, but that went through so many stages of improvements and being embarrassed about the last version. And this also reminds me of the business plan that we made too. It's the same thing, the executive summary. We created an executive summary business plan and we thought it was cool, so we sent it to every single person we know. And then we wanted to update it. We learned more and want to update it, and we're like, wow, this is sucky. Like, don't show anyone this. This sucks. And then we would upgrade it. We would make it a lot better, a lot more professional. And we would give it out again to people that we know that's relevant. And then after a month or 2 months, we would feel embarrassed about it again. So, and then we didn't want to give it to anyone, but then we thought, hey, we were willing to give the first edition to every single person we know. And this has been through 4 or 5 drastic improvements, because when we improved it, we thought the last one was embarrassing. Drastic improvements. So, I mean, if the first one was good enough to send people, the fourth one should be good enough to send people, right? We don't have to wait on the fifth one to come out before you send. So, it's that kind of mentality, things can always be improved and can always be better and better and better. But if you wait for it to be perfect, you will never launch, you will never do anything. Guy Kawasaki says, don't worry, be crappy. Right? You can launch something that's not that great, but slowly improve, not slowly actually, improve it as fast as you can. If you're constantly engaging your community and improving your stuff, whatever you're doing, as fast as possible, people will tell you how they want to see it change. Because let's say it takes a year to reach your perfect product, right? I think if you just sat at home and did work for a year, the chances of you launching something that everyone wants is much, much lower than if you launched in a month, and in 11 months, just constantly talk to your community, let them use it, improve. So same 1 year endpoint, but one you'll end up with what customer wants, and the other one you'll end up with what you think they want, which may or may not be true. But I also want to warn you of taking criticism seriously, because most of the friends you talk to, you say, hey, how's this? They will say it's amazing. They'll say it's great. And that doesn't mean it's great. That means it's better than what they can do oftentimes. For example, like when we created our first designs, all our friends said, wow, this is so cool. These designs are awesome. And that's mostly just because they're viewing as a friend, and as a friend, if you can do this, really cool. Like they couldn't do it. Like it's like if you have a friend who can play the piano, right, and he's like playing this really hard song, it's like, wow, I didn't know you could play this song, you're so amazing. But if it's a professional coming out and say, hey, would you buy my CD, I'm playing this song, or would you pay for my concert? No, you wouldn't, because it's not up to the level. When you're talking to your friends, they evaluate you from the bottom up, which means they start off from nothing and it's like, wow, you're so far away from nothing. But when you are engaging with customers, they go from the top down, which means they're saying, oh, look how unperfect you are, how imperfect you are. Right? So that's very important. I was chatting with someone I randomly met on Twitter, and he was like, hey, you know, check out my site. And I went on the site, and to be honest, it was pretty bad, especially the logo, the color saturated. It looks kind of mossy and greasy, okay? And I just said, you know, like, hey, you know, interesting site, but the design, especially the logo, could be improved a little bit. And he responds, hey, out of 22 people, you're the only one that had a problem with that. You're the only thumbs up. I will take those odds any day. And yeah, I might be incorrect, but I actively recognize that that design is of similar quality to our first or second launch of FD Career. And again, we improved it, and it still looks crappy today. So, you know, when most people want to tell you nice things, but when someone tells you that you need to improve, you need to change, take it seriously. Obviously, don't listen to every single person who's a downer, but when someone tells you you need to improve on something, you know, you should really consider that, because it's much easier to say, yeah, you did a good job, than say, you know, hey, maybe you need to improve on that. Actually, one thing that's pretty funny is Man vs. Dead. If you guys know him, I'd like to call him Man vs. Dead anyway. So, Man vs. Dead used to have his Man vs. Dead little picture, but then he changed to his face. And I have to be honest, that picture was not a very nice picture. And I was like, okay, so maybe some people some people just look like that, you know, it's cool. But then I met him in real life, and I'm like, hey, you know, you could get a much better picture, dude. And I told him, and he was like, dude, no one told me that. And then yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, he's like, hey, you know, Yukai Chao says my picture sucks. What do you guys think? And then, yeah, people said I have balls, and so, sorry, Adam. Anyway, this is my top day. So again, don't worry if to launch something or put out something that sucks, as long as you're engaged, you're constantly improving. You want to constantly improve. If you improve a little slow, then it sucks. And make sure you don't hurt your team morale when you launch early and people don't like it. But also make sure you take criticism seriously, because people who tell you bad things are those honest people that are giving you really valuable pointers. Alright? Anyway, this is Yukai Chao, and you have been FD-tized.